Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, where everything you're about to hear and see has been done in one take. I am your host, the One Take Man. Today, as the title already gave away, I'm going back to George Stiles' Twitter account and answering some more questions. Because, damn, this guy has a lot of them, and a lot of them are really good. And because I'm a YouTuber, I found one good thing and I'm gonna keep milking it. Yeah. I'm gonna put 25 minutes on the clock, 25 minutes or whenever I get bored, and go. Yeah, sit right here over the stove. I'm sure nothing bad can happen from that. Let's begin. Is it a blessing or curse to be truly intelligent? Well, both actually. Blessing because you understand a lot more than others, a curse because you can't exactly convey it to others. And also, yeah, I was gonna say there is an and also, but really that's kind of it. Okay, next one. Do you believe that you need to grow up and become established? Is this a legit pursuit or is it a conceptual scam? Well, if you want to become established in order to gain approval, then yeah, that is a scam. If you're looking to become, you shouldn't look to become established. You should just look to become. You know. Then others will decide whether or not you are also indeed established. Zefram Cochrane actually said something similar in Star Trek, but I'm not going to go into that right now. Okay, what's next? Do you think that the human race is more skeptical or gullible, generally speaking? I could be mean and say there are a lot more religious people than irreligious people and just leave it at that. However, I kind of want to go into a bit more detail here, and that a bit more detail is namely saying that according to some psychological investigations, it's been discovered that when the brain first receives a new statement, it interprets it as being true, and only afterwards does it decide or sift through it and realize, wait, that's actually wrong, or it's an outright lie by some means or another. So yeah, overall, sorry to say this, but we tend to lean more towards gullible. What is your take on reality TV? The entertainment we've always been looking for, or the embarrassing trend people will laugh about in the near future? People are laughing about it now. Like, yeah. Also, the thing about reality TV is that it's not exactly real. It's not presenting genuine or authentic sense of reality. It's still an artifice. It's still puts on a show. It's still a show that gets put on. It's still there's still some level of pretend involved. Whether or not you should drop that, I'm not sure, and I'm not sure it's really worth it. We I'm not gonna we I don't want to lean too much into escapism, but we kind of need our fiction to show us not the unreal, but the surreal. Start from something we know to something we can infer, and that really gives us the insights that allow us to grow as people, and it also allows culture and entertainment to actually fulfill its sociological purpose. Wow, we're gonna deep on this one. What driving force do you think is behind ascension in the work world? Luck, skill, or favoritism? Well, I think both, or rather all three. If you want to say which one plays a much higher role, well then luck. Like, sorry. Someone born in Burkina Faso is not going to become a billionaire. Someone who was born in the US, however, is much more likely to do so. So yeah. Can you say that you've reached a point in your life where you truly know yourself? Some people might, but even then it's it's kind of unclear when. You still have to be. I still think you have to be open for new observations or new revelations, either about yourself or your abilities, or about the world in general. So you can't really say. So maybe if you're 60, maybe you can say you really know everything about yourself, but you still change. Your abilities change. Your mind changes, and that also adds another layer of self-discovery. So yeah. Do you think the human race is currently in the process of evolving? Well, evolution doesn't stop. It's a continuous process, and it's still going on. Maybe not too much for humanity, because we've already reached the pinnacle of evolution in more ways than I can count. However, our societies haven't really, and we've kind of. I would say that is the major evolution that is yet to be explored: societal evolution or macro-political evolution. How we go from tribes to kingdoms to republics to whatever else comes next. That kind of thing. Can you say that you know how the technique known as radioisotopic dating works? Not a physics major, but I'll try. As far as I know, radioisotopic dating works by looking at radioactive isotopes of various well-known materials and observing what quantity of that material is still left. Oh great, I got a message. Never mind, I'll look at it later. And depending on the quantity that is left, you can determine the age of whatever it is you're trying to date. How exactly the initial quantity is worked out, I don't know, but whatever. If the world was voting to end TV tomorrow, what would you vote? No, obviously. Like, there are lots of things about no, not just about shows currently airing, but also about television in general that I don't like. But I'd rather see them change but I'd rather see the industry, the technology change rather than have it be destroyed. And I have to mention that with TV I also mean stuff like streaming, because it's still television, viewing from a distance. Do you think there should be annual mental health assessments that are publicly displayed for those in law enforcement? I don't think it should be publicly displayed, because everyone has a right to privacy, even police officers. However, if for some reason the police officer if someone involved in law enforcement is for some reason or another incapable of performing their tests on account of their mental health, then at least their superior should know that, and have them either put on leave or have them be evacuated from from law enforcement. So yeah, that's my stance on this. Do you believe that the boomer gen gets far too much undeserved bad publicity? This is a tricky one. I don't think all the bad publicity is undeserved. There are certain boomers that are in fact damaging. The extent to which they are damaging is, however, difficult to quantify. So yeah. Because also it's not just boomers that profit off what makes the world unjust, and it's not just them that keep the world unjust. So yeah. I will say, I won't say far too much. I'll just say, I'll just give a, I'll just give somewhat undeserved bad publicity. Do you believe that the millennial gen gets far too much undeserved bad publicity? Well, as a millennial, I've seen some pretty major idiots in my generation, so some of that bad publicity gets deserved. But for the rest, well, for the rest, we're just, you know, we're just inheriting a bad house. It's not our fault the house is bad. Or rather, we inherit a house that is in bad conditions, and it's not our fault that the house is in bad condition. It was already bad when you got it. So, again, the answer is no. Okay, next one. I'll go the absolute next one. I'm skipping through a bunch of these. Have you ever contemplated not having die-hard fixed beliefs, but rather settled on holding all things to some degree of indeterminacy? Well, like I said, you have to keep yourself open, or rather flexible. Keep in mind the possibility that some of the things you disagree with can be changed or can be correct. And if they are in any way correct, well, how do you address them? So I will say I am settled on holding some degree of indeterminacy, but the degree of indeterminacy changes according to the actual topic we're discussing. Color is around us at every moment. Would you say that you have a basic grasp of what chemical characteristics result in the different colors of objects? Not sure on the chemical characteristics, but I can say that or maybe these are chemical and I'm just mistaken. I will say that every object absorbs the light that comes onto them, and however they don't absorb all of it, they deflect some of it. And the wavelength of light that they deflect is shows what color they are. So, for example, white absorbs all light, and things that are blue, like this stripe here, absorbs all light except for this very particular wavelength of blue, and that just goes out to us, and we see it as blue. So yeah. Do you agree with the following old saying? If you were stupid, you wouldn't know it. Yes. Yes, I fucking agree with that. Do you think that people can be brainwashed by a fashion or trend to the point where they forget what it was like before that fashion or trend first appeared? This sounds like the Mandela effect. Whether or not it is possible, I think so. I also know that it's not irreversible, so yeah. Putting the basics of social functionality aside, do we really need people to tell us how to live? Isn't life better without a walking, talking textbook going on in your ear? Are you talking self-help? Because, if you want to just say self-help is bad, then we should all get therapy, then you can go ahead and do that. If you also say therapy is bad, well, therapy fulfills a purpose, and if the purpose of therapy isn't fulfilled by therapy, something else will fill the void. Something that could potentially be less helpful. I'll say in general, we might not. However, there are plenty of exceptions that still justify the existence of people who tell us how to live. If you had known the future is going to turn out like this, what age would you have decided to freeze time at and stay at that age? Fuck me! This is actually a great question. By which I mean I need some time to think. And I think that answer might be 17, if at all. I don't know, various reasons. I wasn't afflicted by I wasn't really afflicted by existential angst in any way, or if I was well enough beyond it. I think I would have been happy staying 17, but at least for a while. Unlike the reality TV show, do you think you have enough skills and are strong enough to actually survive on your own in the wilderness? Like, actually be on your own and survive, if not thrive? As of right now, no. It also depends on where you're gonna drop me off. If you're gonna drop me off in the middle of Borneo, yeah, I'm dead in like 3 days. If you drop me off in some dense wild forest of Europe, I might make it a week. But otherwise, no, I'm dead. Do you know anybody that knows both science and the Bible or other holy book? By science, I mean like at least a BSc. And by knowing the Bible, you mean having read it once, having taken courses on it, or... yeah. To be honest, well... my mother is pretty faithful and is... and has a freaking PhD. So, yeah. It is possible to know both. And I'm pretty sure there are people who have studied both theology and a harder science. So, yeah. Do you believe that we currently live under too many laws, regulations, and restrictions? Do you think we would be better off with less? The problem with laws, regulations, and restrictions is never a number, it's nature. What exactly do these prescriptions restrict or forbid? Do we actually need these things that are prescribed or forbidden to be forbidden? That is something we should think about. Because while on the one hand, it might seem like some things are forbidden unnecessarily, but on the other hand, you know, gay rights are a thing, interracial marriage is a thing, so yeah. I think overall we become more wise on what it is that actually harms us and what actually should be banned or limited. And I think that trend will continue to change. There will be some things that we now find natural that future generations will think are way too dangerous or way too stupid. But overall, the answer to this is no. Okay, next. Do you think screening for antisocial disorders, sociopathy, narcissism, psychopathy, should be a regular thing? More so than it already is, maybe I'll say. In your personal opinion, do you think there should be a license to be considered an adult? I would say yes. However, you have to consider who would give out the license for that, and and which criteria you have to fulfill in order to be called an adult. You know, if fasting every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday is what you should do to be called an adult, most people won't. So, yeah. Why, in your opinion, has it become fashionable to shun obvious intelligence and verifiable knowledge? This is a good one because it also frustrates me. People realize they're being fed bullshit. I think that's the thing. But they don't exactly realize what that bullshit is. They don't know what is wrong or how to determine what things are wrong, and that is why they cling to some pretty weird things. They want to be in control, and they want to feel like or have the confidence of a supportive community. And that's why they turn to situations and ideas and communities that shun obvious intelligence and verifiable knowledge. Do you think there will be a movement of gravity denial anytime soon? Funny you should say that, because whenever I had to Richard Dawkins once had a saying, "You think evolution is just a theory? Well, gravity is just as much a theory. Yet you don't see, yet you're not exactly trying to deny that, do you?" The thing about gravity is we can literally feel it. It has a strong distinctive impact on us, unlike other processes that generally get denied. So unless you can somehow account for there's another reason why we fall, like the Earth loves us or something and wants to hold us down, then I just fed gravity denial. But yeah, overall I'm not sure. I will say, I'm not gonna say no. I will say there is a 90% chance such a movement won't show up anytime soon. What makes you want to divorce yourself from the human race the most? Certain political figures, certain political ideologies, and adherence to self-important dogma over over something that is more directly useful. The offended culture had a beginning, I think, in the late 90s. It's not, you could call it offended now, but it actually started as politically correct, and it started in the early 90s. Keep in mind, Demolition Man was all about that, and it only came out in like 93. So yeah, do you think it will go out of fashion or end anytime soon? Well, the main reason it stopped after the 90s was 9/11, and all of a sudden or rather the U.S. and therefore every major cultural milestone of the 21st century had something casting a shadow over it. So unless something like that happens again to scare everyone into submission, then I don't think so. Yeah. What percentage of the current collection of history books do you feel has been written to the point that it's a lie? I don't exactly know what you're trying to say about that, so moving on. Which do you think is better for kids, homeschooling or public schooling? Well, if you have homeschooling with a strong social component, something that allows the child to regularly interact with other children, then I think homeschooling could be good. However, under the tutorship of skilled educators. So, just a mother telling her child about what's in the Bible and saying that's it, that's the education, that's all the education you'll ever need. No, that's bullshit. The problem with public schooling is that you have a lot of kids who learn in a lot of different ways, and we are all trying to make them learn the thing in the same way. Einstein once said that, if you were to gauge the fish by how well it can climb a tree, the fish will think it's stupid all its life. So yeah, public schooling doesn't exactly encourage differentiated learning, unless we're talking about small classes. And yeah, small classes are, as of right now, doable, but they are under-financed mostly, at least in the U.S. There are also there are other countries that also have this problem, but really I can't go into a nation-by-nation breakdown of the. Oh, and that was 25 minutes. Time flies when you're having fun. So, what is better? Anyway, what is better? I'm not gonna. So again, not going into deeper breakdowns. Just this: A or B. I'll say public schooling is still better, because public schooling still has to reach some standard of quality for it to be considered effective. Whereas with homeschooling, you don't have that. Okay, maybe one more for the road. What do you think is a major reason for why there are many people that still fervently deny or disagree with science? They don't know any better, and haven't been given the opportunity to know any better, or don't want to search for a better opportunity, because they trust the environment they come from too much to think that anyone or anything from that environment was in any way deceitful towards them. Or even if it was deceitful, they still don't. They might have been deceitful inadvertently, and they don't want to think that. They don't want to break their hearts, basically, and they don't want to break the hearts of everyone they know. So yeah, that's basically it. Thank you very much for your attention. I might just do a part 3 with with this topic. And if you like this video, then go ahead and drop a comment. No, give it a like. You can also drop a comment if you have something to add. Otherwise, if you want to see when part 3 comes out, then go ahead and subscribe. Until next time, I have been the One Take Man.